Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. And today is Woo Wednesday. So Public is here and Satoshi Sean has come back to join us. And he's going to tell us what Spitzel is. Spitzel, something like that. Be right back. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Merry Christmas. Sean, you win the award once again for the best hat, most festive.
Cool. I'm really starting to like this hat. It's actually really warm, too. So
I was just about to say, it looks warm.
Yeah, you might wear it year-round. You're considering it.
I don't know, maybe. But, yeah, I did wear it out last night because finally got the back patio finished.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not
long enough. I know
enough.
you've been working on stuff at the house.
Yeah, they were supposed to go all the way to the back of the house, and they didn't. So now when the jacuzzi comes, it's not going to be long enough. I'm going to have to turn it sideways. So that's not cool. But
first world problems, right?
I know, yeah. My patio's not big enough for my giant jacuzzi.
Well, and you do have a big family. So you have the whole family coming over for Christmas. You were talking about.
Yeah.
Making me hungry, talking about all the things you're making for Christmas.
Yeah, my son Alice is going to smoke a goose.
Smoke a goose.
Which I had no idea geese were that expensive. It's $80 for a goose.
Wow.
That's what I thought. I thought it was like maybe a little more than a turkey, but
even Scrooge. I mean, that makes the Christmas Carol
like just flip them one.
I made that joke so many times. Yeah, it's like the biggest goose there is. But I told him like this is the biggest. Because I told him to get two because we usually make like a giant turkey. So I was like, get two geese.
And then he was like,
I only bought one, Dad, because they're really expensive. But I got the biggest one. I was like, did you, Tiny? Did you, lad? Did you get the biggest goose in the shop?
In all the land.
Yeah.
You mean the one that's as big as me?
Yeah. It was a very large goose, but I told him to get a duck. I said, just get a duck. So we have a backup duck. Something weird.
I don't think I've ever had goose. I've had duck. I don't think I've ever had goose.
We were thinking about that because I was, my mom always, we had like, weird foods and all, very adventurous. But I told my kids, I was like, I don't think I've had a goose since back in the 1900s if I had it. I know I've had duck. But I don't know. I honestly thought there was like the same thing. I didn't think there was much of a difference.
All my kids grew up hunting geese, so it's like not that unusual here.
So is there okay, so are all geese pheasant or are all pheasant geese?
Neither that I'm aware of.
Neither that I'm aware of, no. I think the pheasants are the little tiny ones, and they're like a whole other kind of bird family.
That's quail.
Yeah, quail and grouse.
The quails, that's what I'm thinking of. That's right.
But I thought like pheasant was a broad term, like dog, and then there's all different kinds of dogs. So I thought that like pheasants or geese was like all different kinds of the same bird.
No, I don't believe so.
I'm gonna Google it and see what this interwebs tell me.
Well, tell me what a schnitzel is, or
Spitzel. It's pronounced Spätzle or Spitzel. But it's like an egg noodle.
Oh.
It's German. I don't want to call it pasta because it's kind of this in between thing, but it's
a thick egg noodle, right?
Yeah, like real thick, kind of spongy,
like
heavy.
Hungarian goulash, similar.
It's easy to make because you make the batter and then you just kind of drizzle it into boiling water.
Oh,
so you don't have to dry it or roll it or anything. You just kind of drip it out, but it's a
healthy version of a funnel cake.
Very much so. Yeah. It's just
Oh,
yeah. That is a very very apt.
When your kids
analogy.
are giving you a hard time, you can be like, "Look, this is the healthy version. We're not deep frying it."
I want to make German food, so I'm making like Swedish meatballs in like a stroganoff cream sauce over the spatula.
Yum.
beef stroganoff is the bomb if you can get a good one.
Yeah, it's the secret is mustard, a little ketchup.
A little ketchup, a
In
little
there.
my
Ketchup,
my
mustard,
My
caramelizes
aunt-
with the onions.
yep. My aunt always used to make Swedish meatballs, and the secret of the recipe was jam. She would put some grape jelly in, and that would do it somehow.
Little sugar, like eat the sugars in the ketchup. Usually, they mix with the onions, and it makes a good flavor.
A little glaze on there. I'm getting hungry now. I made
I
some
know,
coffee
I'm like-
before this. I'm like, hold on a second. I gotta.
And Charlie's taking off to have a daddy-daughter date with our daughter Tiffany, our oldest, to watch The Matrix tonight.
We're watching that tonight. Yeah, for family night.
You?
Is it out now, or you gotta?
On
Out.
HBO Max. You can watch it on HBO.
They're
I'm
going
gonna
to
watch
the
that too.
theater, and Kenan and I are gonna order pizza and stay in and find some fun movie to watch on the couch. And
I always had the best line for girls named Tiffany when I was a younger lad.
who
Like, hey, you can't spell beautiful without Tiff.
I'll tell you.
EITIF. Yeah. Yeah. It always worked. It never did not work with a girl named Tiffany.
All right, I'm gonna.
You
wait till
haven't
the
met
first
my Tiffany.
Tiffany I
She's
meet.
like a black belt, and she does not play with lines.
Every girl likes to be called beautiful.
Yeah. And the fact you can't spell the word beautiful without their name.
Good one. Very smooth, Sean.
I love the dad
Yeah.
jokes, man. The dad jokes are just the thing. It's just the best. My
But
kids,
is a
my
dad joke
daughters are
supposed
like,
to be a pickup line?
no, a dad joke is just a funny joke that's just bad, but it's funny because it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's a dad joke.
I remember in college, some guy doing like that, like he was looking at my tag, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I just wanted to see if it said made in heaven because you look like an angel." And I was like,
Oh, that's
That's
so
the thing. They can't be too cheesy. You know what I mean?
"Yeah, no." The girls and I, like, we'd be like, "Okay, what was the worst line you heard tonight?"
Yeah.
Have a little competition.
Hey, did it hurt when you fell from heaven?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
There was a funny one I heard. Yeah, I don't remember. I'll have
You
to
guys
find it. for you, but it
post
was
the
hysterical.
best. If you're watching this video right now, post the cheesiest pickup line you heard back in the day. I love them.
I told my kids, because I have two sets of twins. And I was like, hey, what's your favorite fruit, man? And my son Alex is like, my favorite fruit? It's like, I don't know. Bananas, maybe? Apples? What? Why? It's like, I thought it was pears, man. It's like, I don't really like pears. And I was like, but you're a twin. I thought twins' favorite fruit is pears.
See, that's a dad joke.
Like,
Baby.
That's a good one.
like,
You know who does great dad jokes is Daddy Cool, David Schwartz.
Mhm.
He posts dad jokes on Twitter all the time, and I love them. I think it's so funny. And he'll like post them, or he'll try to embarrass his kids or his wife in public with his dad jokes. And then he posts it on Twitter, and he's like, his wife said to get a bag of peanuts. And so I don't know where he was, like IKEA or somewhere. And he comes out with like a feed sack of peanuts, and he's filming, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, David, you're so embarrassing," and he just gets the biggest kick out of it and posts it. I'm like,
People are posting the classics.
all the dad jokes.
You've been running. Are you tired? You've been running through my mind all day.
Yeah.
There was one. It says,
So you can say I've been touched by an angel.
so you go to a prospective cutie out there and you say, so there's 20. So you're making a matter-of-fact comment that there's 20 letters in the alphabet, and then right away everyone's gonna call you out on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you say, how many letters are in the alphabet? 20, right? And they say no, and then you say, oh, sorry, I forgot the URAQT, right? And then they go, oh, that's only 25. That's 25. Then you go, don't worry, I'll give you the D later.
It's
Whoa,
good.
my gosh,
It's just an alphabet.
Yeah, just a letter, man.
Just
that one where it's like
an angel and all that, like
something about the alphabet. And why don't you?
Wow, way to dampen the moment there.
Let's put you and I together, something like that. I want to change the alphabet and put you and I together.
Yeah, thank you, Sean.
That was a good one.
You're such a gentleman.
Keeping it wholesome.
Anyway,
I'm embarrassed now. My pride.
I forgot. There's so many cheesy ones. Also forgot a lot of dad jokes. My niece told me the best dad joke the other day. I was like, I'm so proud that I have influenced you to be the weirdo that you are, Autumn. I really am proud.
Wait, is that a pickup line, Christopher? Is this where I can buy some negative yielding treasuries? He's just kidding.
It's taking a second. The gears are
I guess
turning.
if you're trying to pick up a government worker or a central banker.
So, Sean, it was so nice to meet you down at the event in Florida this week. It was really good.
I know, it was good.
I'm so glad you were able to make it. Yeah,
it was good hanging. I love your cologne. Really
Thank you. You're a lot taller than I realized in person too. It was amazing.
I'm 6'6", 1.5". Yeah,
nice stuff.
I thought you were 6'4".
6 foot.
6'4".
With the hat
6'4".
on.
Jeez,
with
no.
your hat on, okay.
No,
with the hat and some boots.
6'1".
I don't know. Everyone's taller than me, so.
I don't wear boots.
Everyone's taller than me. Amber was almost taller than me. No, she's a midget. She's a little person.
Yeah, a midget? It's a 4'10" and below.
Mm-hmm.
It's a midget. Yeah.
So we had a friend in high school who was 4'11", and she would everyone would bust her chops.
Dude, I had a friend who was 4'11", and that was like, she viewed like joke and calling her midget. She would just whip that out. That's why I know. She's like, no, midget actually and below. I am 4'11".
4'10" and 3/4.
Yeah, I think she was like 4'10" and 3/4 actually.
That's hysterical.
But yeah.
Good stuff. Good weekend. Definitely a shout out to anyone in the group who was there this weekend. I'm still recovering. That's why I'm drinking my second coffee of the day as we speak.
Did you have a good time?
It was a good time.
Yeah, we
did. Late nights and a lot of talking and a lot of people and just
a lot of networking.
Yep.
There was like a lot of really cool conversations. Like that's one thing I thought was really cool, public, where like there were people there talking about everything from UFOs to silver to UFOs to all kinds of different crypto projects. There were people talking about, the education pieces of it. I don't know. It was just a lot. And then inspiring and encouraging other people to reach out and how they can, help people in their area get in and learn more about cryptocurrency. And then I had a brand new psychic on with SL on my Patreon today who I absolutely adore. Her name's Sue. And we did like a 2-hour because it was our very first reading with her. So she goes through like Bitcoin for 2022. And then we go through several coins specifically. And then at the end, SL like lets me rip into the collapse of the financial banking system and how quickly that's all coming down and what that looks like. And I share with her some of the stuff that I've been seeing and my gut's been telling me, and that matches up with some of Plus High stuff and what we've been seeing from other astrologers and things. And so Public and I just did a video that we also posted on Patreon that decoded the recent church message, the Christmas message that came out on Sunday as I was traveling home. That is like calm after calm after calm. I actually think it's more than calms. It's like where like the bad guys used to have to, part of their like dark magic was that they had to tell you what they were doing, and they had to like put it in your face. This is like the reverse of that. They're telling you the good news, literally. Like, this is what's happening. And they are talking about silver, and they're talking about what's happening. Anyway, it's really exciting.
It was very good. It was a lot of obvious communications, I thought. Didn't really take much to decode. The decodes people do a lot of letters and numbers and lines crossing up. It wasn't any of that. It was like basically.
But there was like timestamps and things mentioned, and then I pulled up some articles. Like, there's one thing, like, I will never forget when Trump did his State of the Union, and he was like, "Gone with the wind, gone with the wind, gone with the wind," and he said it so many times, and then it was like. That's when they used to make films the old way, whatever. When I was like, what are you talking about? Well, that's before digitized film. He was letting them know, like, we have the film. Well, they have the film from the little island that can't be disputed.
VHS.
And then we went into like, all that gematria and different things.
Well, the VHS tape, it was crazy.
And it told, and it was like, it called out HRC and all this. And it was like, basically like, it's not going to be disputed. We have the film, whatever. And so then this pastor on this one was like, he said at 33, he said, "It's a Wonderful Life," which what's that movie about? It's about the banksters. It's about banking.
Yeah.
And he said, "You'll know it's Christmas when It's a Wonderful Life plays continually." So I go Google, when does It's a Wonderful Life play continually? And sure enough, it says It's a Wonderful Life will play continuously beginning, was it 3 a.m. Eastern time on Christmas Day?
It was, I didn't write it down. I have a screenshot in my phone.
Anyway,
because there was a lot of numerology in that also.
Join my Patreon. It costs $5 a month. And I send every time I see something, whether it's in like a tweet or a promoted tweet, and I get like a gut thing off of it. And then I go find an article, or then like this psychic was talking about things happening on a certain day early in January. And I recently saw something in my state where a Real ID, 2 big Real ID locations are closing down. And in the article, I mean, they're constantly mentioning 45,000 and 17 this and 54,000. And I'm like,
and it closes on the 7th, which is 107.
Which is 107. Yeah. I mean, it's like so in your face. And then it's delayed until May 23rd of 23 or whatever. It's just super obvious that it's very messaging. And so why would they be closing it? If we need real IDs, why are they all of a sudden closing it and it's been so successful? Why would you be closing it on that day? Unless we need new IDs or we don't need those IDs anymore. Anyway, so really interesting. And I post stuff like that all the time for my Patreon. So,
you know about numerology, me and CMAS were talking the other day about these weird numbers that have followed us our life. For me, it's 156. Just this weird number that
public, you know what that means? I don't know about.
I have no idea what it means. I've tried looking at like dates and stuff, but I can't ever find anything. And CMAS is here. His is 318. That's his weird number that follows him. Mine is 156.
Public knows that stuff. I don't know.
There's this song by Queensryche, and it's funny because it was back in the like way back in the 1900s when I was young, and it was about like computers, taking over in this apocalypse world and all. I'm not talking to you. I said I was talking to you. According to Guardian, computer. Stop.
That was the other really weird thing. While we were at the house, there was like one of those Google speaker things, and no one could get it to work except for Westwood's youngest daughter.
What's weird for me is when it says something to me, but then it calls me by name. Like when I say something and it's like, I don't know, Sean, because it says it just like that, blah, 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 Sean. It creeps me out, man. It really does.
Your mom telling you to go to your room.
I'm trying to change his voice to Samuel Jackson.
That would be cool. I always wanted one that sounded like Mr. T.
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock, sucker.
Put your food to bed.
Computer, ask Samuel L. Jackson what the weather's like.
Allow me to welcome actor Samuel L. Jackson.
I'm in the cloud, baby.
Let's show them some of the things you can do.
Computer, just stop. It's good. He's very nice.
Did you hear what he said? I'm in the clouds.
He said, I'm in the cloud, baby.
Sam. You can enable his voice
Okay,
with a
computer,
one-touch
stop.
Who else has been talking about the clouds lately?
How do you
I
get
thought that was
to answer computer? That's awesome.
I thought it was cool that you got the self-hosters. The article you sent me that people are that the internet's going to be hopefully decentralized again if people start waking up. I think with crypto, the more people that see how things work.
So this is the kind of stuff that like in the middle that I geek out about, and I'm like, that means something. I don't know what it means, but I send it to public or I send it to my little Anon friends. It was at the Grubel's post that Jack started posting last night around what was that, 11 or so?
At Jack?
Yeah.
I think I saw him. Did I tell you that? I think I saw him in a convenience store down at Bitcoin Miami. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was him because it looked just like him.
I think if you could manufacture a hardware piece that's just a basic like host like that, so it would decentralize the internet, put it in a little box, like, you know, the size of like a pack of butter or something small that anybody can just plug in and forget about. And then that could also be a script miner for like Litecoin or something like that, or Bitcoin. Wouldn't make much money, but if it made, you know, $5 a month, it would give people some kind of money. It would pay for the electricity, and people would be part of decentralizing the internet. And it wouldn't cost, but, you know, what, $10? I think that would be like a huge thing, and everybody would want a piece of it.
And everybody gets one sent to them. Everybody has one in their home.
Yeah, that's something that Musk could do. That's something that billionaires could do. They could literally just have you sign up and get one, and that
Who is dinging? Is that you?
Well, if they can offer like the oil company around here, or the natural gas company around here, when you sign up for service, or once every year or so, they give you an option to buy for $10 or $50. You get one of their Nest, you know, where you get a Google Nest to do the thermostat with. So if they can offer something like that costs, you know, $150 a simple, you know, device like Sean's talking about, why not?
So I found this because I went down a rabbit hole because I was following things, getting a gut things, because I thought I saw Jack tweet. And I'm like, where has he been? And then it went to like this guy that it looked like Bernanke, and Chris was in the chat earlier, Arcadia Economics. And I've been watching and trying to, I cannot ever keep up with Chris. If you guys need to know about what's going on or what went on in the past about a lot of that stuff, and know what's going on with silver markets and all that, he wrote The Big Silver Short. Brilliant man. Then he was talking about Ben Bernanke and all this. And so there's a guy on Twitter, and he followed me back, and he's somehow associated with the Tesla truck. And it's like, I don't know if I can find him, but it was this. And then he was posting about this Grubel thing. And, you know, recently, like we just did the show and we were talking about Elon helping Turkey launch those satellites.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is somehow related. I don't know how it's related. I just know it's all related.
Well, they say the satellites are going to be the Elon Musk satellites are going to be the ones where all the internet's going to come from. That's what you read.
Like we are going into a decentralized system. I'm so excited. So
I hope so too. I hope it's you know, I'm
excited.
Yeah,
I think people are starting to wake up to the evils of centralization and the lack of sovereignty and power that they have. Anything. I mean, I posted this thing about. I mean, it's a somewhat joke from the Babylon Bee of what a prison is and what a public school is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Only the colors were different.
But it was that centralization of education, making everyone kind of the same. But it's turned into just an indoctrination when you look at public schools. But just centralizing anything has, when it comes to the development of people, like centralizing the mail system, that's good. Rather than, hey, I got a letter, let me try to get that to you decentralized. That didn't work. That it's good to have a centralized postal system. But when it comes to education or anything to do with freedom, or creativity, growth, anything like that, it's just destroyed it. You can look at marijuana. Legalized in California. I don't know if you know what's going on. I just read this the other day. All of the marijuana farmers have written a letter to the governor saying that the whole industry is becoming bankrupt.
Yeah.
Because of
fees and the legalization. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I got out.
They said they can't compete with the illegal marijuana growers.
And I can tell you how aggressive the supposed people that are, there are regulators. So you would think they're on our side, like they would want the legal cannabis industry people to win. They are like literally one of my dispensary partners. They rushed us like they were some kind of, ICE or I don't know what that would be, some kind of squad or whatever. Came in, were screaming at my employees and whatever. And she's like, we walked out and we're like, whoa, this is my place of business. You're not going to yell at my employees. We haven't done anything wrong. You're not going to come in here. We're perfectly in compliance. And until you can prove that you haven't, you're not going to mistreat us. And it was just like, are you on our side or do you want there to be?
It would seem like, you basically, you're partners. You're partnering with them to fight the illegal drug trade.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
The easier it is for people to get those things legally, then you're going to hurt the illegal trade. That's just common sense. But
so this is that guy that
since when has everyone had common sense? Come on.
Yeah.
This is that guy where I found that decentralized device that I saw Jack tweeting about. And it's like, it says that he is the Christ follower, entrepreneur, community online director, founder, president of Nexulting LLC, Bitcoin, Tesla.
I feel like we should root for this guy. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go.
I thought it was interesting. It was Brandon, but then Bernicki sounds a little bit,
Yeah.
Sounds a little bit Bernanke to me, but I don't know.
Ben.
The belt
exactly.
buckle.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen because I live here. I live where it's coming. And already our property is so expensive here. It's like crazy. Now with Musk moving he's moving like 45 minutes away from my house. Like it's going to just be so expensive here.
Right.
So expensive.
Score for you though. All
the Teslas going to be here. It's going to be nuts.
45 minutes is like the perfect distance for like the execs to get away. Well, who knows? Maybe they'll put one of those hyperlink things in and you could get over to the factory in like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
he's building them, right?
I bought a little ranch out in West Texas like 2-3 years ago. 2 years ago. Well, I bought it 3 years ago. And then Bezos started building the Blue Origin Space Center like about 25 minutes away from, because it's just this, it's out in the middle of nowhere in West Texas. And I bought, it was 20 acres or 25 for $14,000.
Oh, wow.
It was cheap. And it like doubled as soon as he started doing that.
Wow.
Then that's where they're doing all the launches and stuff out there. So it's pretty cool.
So you're in the middle of a hotspot, man. You're like the new tech central.
Well, Austin has been for years now, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm trying to get some like land around here to just go shooting and stuff, so I don't have to like go to friends, you know. But everywhere's being developed, so it's hard. It's hard to find a place now that's just kind of open.
Just get a place to go shooting. Oh man, I can only imagine. I haven't even been shooting in like years, just because it's such a pain in the butt here.
Right. We're talking about, you know, those government agencies. I have a lot of guns. We all, me and my family, have a ridiculous amount of guns. But, well, you know, you had a bunch.
I got them back. Got them all back. Thank God.
Right. But yeah. I like space looking guns, you know, just cool shit. And there's this, I don't know if you know, but there's this you can turn your Glock into a carbine. And this thing, I said it looks like a prop from a sci-fi movie. And my son Ted is like, yeah, they've actually been used in a lot of sci-fi movies. And it has, so you put your Glock into it, and it has a fold out shoulder, you know, stock, but it's not, because I said that to my son. He's like, no, it's actually a wrist grip. And I was like, no, it's not. Look at it. And he said, if you put it up like this and you shoot it, you're committing a felony. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said that you're not allowed to convert a handgun into a carbine with a shoulder stock, because that's a felony. Okay. So by them calling it, you know, a wrist support or something, they get away with it. But if you shoot it like that, you're committing a felony. He said that he was in a gun store years ago, and he was looking at one, and he just, you know, put it up like this, and the guy's like, whoa, don't hold it like that. You're committing a crime. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. You know, those agencies are supposed to be here, like, to protect people, you know, to keep people safe. And
kind of like a flash protector versus a muzzle brake. One in New Jersey is completely illegal. One is completely legal. Is ridiculous. And they're identical. It's an identical piece.
I bought a BB gun. I bought two BB guns, one for me and one for my nephew for Christmas. And they're both illegal in New Jersey. It's like, can't ship to New Jersey, Pennsylvania, California, New York.
You need a firearms ID card to purchase a BB gun in New Jersey.
I mean, these are machine guns, so okay. I may, but regular BB guns, just a regular BB gun.
Yep, it's a firearm, and the cards here are called a firearm ID card.
There's no fire.
There's
literally no explosion. Though. There is a fire in a bullet. It explodes. That's fire. But that's air.
It's an air gun.
Yep. No, that's kind of like. I'm sorry.
What about, like, you know, slingshots or, you know?
Slingshot is illegal too. Wrist rockets are illegal. 5th degree felony. Brass knuckles, as I have experience with this. Brass knuckles is a freaking paperweight that I bought at a street fair in the town when I was a kid, and that's a 5th degree felony. You know, but like you were saying too, you can't hold it up like this, but that's the same as back in the day. We used to go into the head shop and get a water pipe. But it was a water, you know, everybody knows it's a bong, but if you ask for a bong, they threw you out. But if you ask for a water pipe, how about this big 4-footer, you know?
What Rush? It was a fragrance or something. What was it?
Oh, yeah. What did they call that? That was air. No, it was car air
freshener. Yeah, it was like an air freshener or something. Yeah. But it was, you know, everyone just sniffed it and got a little high for 10 seconds and then had a headache for an hour. Yeah.
Whippet's the same thing. I remember the same thing. You weren't allowed to call it a Whippet, but you were allowed to go to the restaurant warehouse and buy a gigantic case of them.
Yeah. That's I can't believe that about New Jersey, dude. What about archery? Archery? Is that
no, I don't think there's anything on archery, but if you want a crossbow, it's a firearms ID card.
Yeah, I was gonna say crossbows. That's how it is in, like, Europe. But
it's bad. It's bad.
But they can get crossbows.
Mm-hmm. You can get a regular bow, a compound bow, whatever you want. You can go right into the store, buy it, come home the same day.
What about an air powered arrow gun?
Like a paintball gun?
No, it's a gun, but you put the bolt in it and it shoots it. It's a hollowed out arrow bow.
A harpoon, but for
similar like a harpoon, but it shoots air. Yeah,
Oh,
it's like a double CO2 cartridge. Yeah, I just saw them now. I mean, we can order them, but I don't know if you can order them.
Probably not. Probably not. You know, they have a cap on a 6-round magazine. There's no suppressor. There's no you can't have a bayonet lug and have a pistol grip on the same firearm. You can't have
what's a firearms ID?
So a firearms ID card is something in New Jersey that you have to get if you want to purchase any firearm, and they've lumped in a whole bunch of other things that don't include fire, like you said, and that's your firearm. So
they do like your background check and all that stuff.
Yeah. And then if you want a pistol, you then have to go and get additional pistol permits, of which they'll only give you 3 at a time. And the wait for those is about 6 months.
I remember my grandpa, he had to get like a certification for a type of gun, but then you could buy whatever you wanted. Like, like you get a certification for a shotgun, and then you could buy any shotguns. Or a rifle or a handgun or whatever.
Yeah, that's basically what's considered now with the firearms ID card. A firearms ID card won't let you get a pistol, but once you get the firearms ID card, if you want to go in and buy a hunting rifle or a pump 22 or a shotgun or something like that, the firearms ID card alone.
See, all of that is totally unconstitutional.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's where, like in Oklahoma, we had even the concealed carry thing. Which we had for a while, where you had to
take the class,
open carry forever,
money,
which is constitutional. Then they were like, "Oh, we're going to pass concealed carry," so that they would have a list. And then they were like, "Well, you could hide it." And then they have a list of everybody who has, and then that was their way of like tricking everybody to submit their information and letting you know who has guns or whatever. And then, thank goodness, our state has gone way back constitutional. We have a great governor. We have really good sheriffs in our area.
Well, I thought that was like a country thing. When because we had concealed carry, and you had to get FBI check. You had to get the fingerprints. You had to do the safety class.
There was a time for that, but it's over.
But then you could carry concealed, and in Texas you could always carry a long gun, no matter what. Like you could
open.
Because I remember when I worked at Domino's when I was a kid, I would have to go at night when I closed and take like $10,000 and go deposit it in the ATM. There for a while, we just called the cops and they would follow me, and then they started charging like $200 to do that. Wow. And then we couldn't have it done, and they're like, just carry a shotgun. I was like, what? He said, yeah, you can just walk around store or whatever.
Did you start saying, then you're going to pay me $200 extra to risk my life?
But I thought that was weird, because they're like, you just carry a shotgun anywhere. I was like, I can? Really? Okay. But we couldn't carry handguns. Were different.
No, you can carry open. It doesn't have to be a long gun. You can carry open.
Well, then they made it to where you could open carry if you had a concealed carry permit.
Not that they made it. Constitutional carry is
that's the thing. And then on the first of the year, it changed to where everyone carry a gun no matter what, whether you go through the class, whether you have the permit, whatever. But now this is what I think is interesting. Now, whenever you buy a gun, you have to go fill out the form. The background check form takes a few minutes, but everyone has to do that.
Not in Jersey. A few months.
Really?
Oh, yeah, dude. It's a few months.
Listen to this stuff. If you have a concealed carry permit in your license, you don't have to fill out the ATF form. You can go buy 5-6 guns, and there's no check. You just walk out.
Because they already have all that information on you.
Instant. It's but that's weird. Yeah. You don't have we can bypass the federal forms and the whole ATF.
You're not bypassing it. They have all that information on you.
Yeah, but they have to do that per gun. And then, because every time you buy one, you have to fill that form out. I'm buying this gun. It is for me. Blah blah blah. Because I had a cop try to go after me once. He hated my son. I mean, he hated him. This dude would like seriously harass him. And he called me once. He's like, I just got a report that your son is out carrying an AR-15 down your street.
Oh my
I was like,
goodness.
he just went to check the mail. He walked in, he had a bag of chips.
Yeah.
I was like, he just walked in and he has a bag of Ruffles. You're a fucking moron, dude. I really hate you. So it's like, we don't even have an AR-15.
That's
So,
terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah. So he like came over and I was like, my son doesn't even like guns. He has this one gun that I bought him. And it was a World War II Einfeld. It was an expensive, nice old gun. And I was like, I bought that for him for Christmas or something. So then he goes back to work and gets the ATF form I filled out from like a year and a half before that. And then tries to have me arrested for falsifying the form because I said I'm buying this gun for myself. But he didn't even know that if you're immediate family, you can buy, guns for. But if not, there's a form you have to fill out that's a gift form. But
so what are the rules? What are the rules in your state for if you wanted to buy a gun and then give it as a gift? I mean, as long as your family.
Immediate family is nothing. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
There's really nothing you can do because, like, I bought my son a gun for Christmas. He don't want it. He don't like it. It's too tactical. So I would just give it to someone else. But when I bought it, like, they have to prove that you had intent to buy it and to give it to someone else, or else you could just say, oh, I just didn't like it. I didn't feel right, so I gave it to someone else. But at the time of buying it, you just, and I'm not giving guns to, felons or anything. So.
Right.
Which I think that's wrong. I do think that's wrong. I think if you're a felon and you went to prison, and I think with voting too, if you serve your time, if you're not on parole or probation or whatever, so your debt is paid to society, and I think then you should be all right.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It depends if it was violent or whatever. But if you did what you said, if you went and paid
I don't care if it was
time,
violent
then you should
or
be
not.
free.
I do not care if it was violent or not, because here I will give you so while Mia had cancer and was dying, my assistant embezzled more than, mostly all of what we had in the nonprofit, to the point I was a single mom with 5 children. My daughter's dying. She knows I'm distracted. She knew the limits that we had set on the credit card and what the 2 signature, 1 signature thing, how much the daily amounts were. And she actually set up and compulsively shopped. And the cop was amazed. He's like, I cannot believe she got this much out. She would have had to stay up 18 hours a day sometimes to be able to get this much money out. And so she ended up with 5 felony counts, never served a day in prison. She then went on to pay, I don't know, very little bit of it back. COVID hit. She stopped making payments. They stopped pursuing her. And now there are no consequences for her.
There's no consequences for anyone who does things these days.
So she's also done this to 2 other people that I know of. The one consequence is that when you have that kind of lack of character and 5 felonies, you should not be allowed to vote. You are not a participating person that shows your character, and you're not a participating person in our society, in our community. I do not believe they should be allowed to vote.
But if she had paid her debt back, if she had paid the money back, if she had went to jail, if she had been given probation for a certain time and she served that time, then she's paid her debt. You know what I mean? She did something fucked up.
It's not about the money.
Punished, then I think she should be able to vote. But she would have to pay her debt back.
Right.
What is
serving time? Right. What is serving time?
I don't think
is it rehabilitation, or are you paying your debt to society? I don't think if it's none of them, then they're just admitting it's putting people in the system to grow the system and to keep the wheels turning.
Yeah, which that the whole system's messed up. Yeah.
The police have been weaponized. Anybody can say anything. There's no repercussions. You can do anything you want, and
we're the only country. We're the only country in the world that has a for-profit prison system. And strangely, We have the largest prison system in the world.
And if you look at who the owners are, it's very telling.
Yeah.
Look up who the owners are of the for-profit prison system, because a lot of them are in the music industry. And then you wonder why the music industry has the language and the narrative that then perpetuates the youth to do these acts of violence that put them into.
Was it you that sent me the thing from Kanye West?
It was
I remember something
me
about
or
Kanye.
Public, one of the two of us.
I think it was you, Lisa.
And he's basically saying the same thing you are.
Mhm.
That, you know, he was, I think he was on with Charlemagne or someone, but he's like, you know, all because
It was his Thanksgiving thing, right?
No, they tried to hit him and call him like an Uncle Tom, and he flipped it. I mean, he flipped it immediately. It was amazing. They're like, you know, a lot of people, a lot of your brothers and sisters, they say that you turned your back on your community, and you know, and he cut him off. He's like, you're damn right. I turned my back on all that shit. He said, I turned my back on the whole way that they think. You know, you got people in the music industry telling people to commit crimes, and everyone's struggling, working hard to
glorifying.
To buy things that don't matter, to look like they're rich. No one's out there telling people to buy land. America's for sale. He goes, but you want to buy a watch instead of investing your money and buying America,
or another pair of Yeezys?
Why would I want to contribute to that? Mm-hmm. You know, and the dude was like, yeah, you go buy like a $5,000 bottle of Cristal. You know,
if you think about it, the slave industry never ended. I mean, not just what we know about our, you know, birth certificates and taxes and all that stuff, but if you look at it as the music industry is writing lyrics and encouraging youth to commit acts that will put them into a system where they're paid pennies a day. They're a free workforce for their labor camps, and they're a free workforce for those for-profit. They're all privatized, and they're for-profit.
And there's a whole nother industry that's on top. There's like a second layer industry. I mean, if someone's in jail and you have to call them, you're paying like so much money for these phone calls.
Well, yeah,
I accepted a collect call from a holding cell one time. It was like $75 for like 1 minute.
Yeah, it's like $25 for 2 minutes. If you're going to talk, you could spend $100.
And then you don't know what they had to do to swap for inside that to get that.
Ramen noodles,
cigarettes and some
ramen noodles like $3.
Yeah,
the 25-cent snack cake is like $3. The whole it's so obvious. I always try to look at things and think about how someone in the future would look at it, like looking back in history. And it's just like when we look at, Hitler's rise to power or other stuff. It's so obvious. And you always ask yourself, how could they have fallen for this? How could people have done this? How could people have not seen it? And when you're living it, if you step back and think about it, think about how people would look at this in like 20, 30 years, 50 years, it's so obvious. It's mind blowing.
Incredible. We are right there though. I mean, but there is a lot of hope. I mean, if you don't have any hope, go watch our Patreon stuff because it's right there. I mean, the end. Sue goes through a lot of coins. It's a long video, so don't miss the end of it. Go to 1:44:17.
Yeah,
a minute 44.
Yeah, that's it. I got it.
And I kind of do like a really quick wrap up of a lot of the things we've seen, and then she goes into how she sees, and then she also we ask her questions about like, well, if people, the normies, don't have silver and cryptos, how are they going to get through this, and what does that look like, and how quickly is this all going to happen? And it's some pretty shocking stuff. I will tell you, my husband and I hope I don't turn the microphone off. My hubby signed up for David Nino Rodriguez's, I don't know, like his Patreon thing, I guess. And Juan O'Savin was on today, and Juan got a little cranky with him because he kept interrupting him. And he's like, I'm trying to tell you a story. And there's a lot of stories about Rome right now. And that's what that pastor talked about, which is one of the videos on my Patreon. But Juan Savin was talking about right now, there's the king of misrule. And back in the Roman times, that's when it was uncertain who was in charge. And so there's this time where there's a king of misrule. And that's a time from December 17th through the 25th. And it's a dark to light time. And then on or about that time, the king of misrule would be beheaded on the steps of where the new money was created. But you didn't know who the king of misrule was. So people weren't sure like who to be beholden to. So everyone was kind of smiling, making friends with everybody, but that it would be revealed. And anyway, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I want to do a video series about like conspiracies, maybe one a week or a month or something. I could do the Titanic, because that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
But all the worst ones are always connected to banks, like the Titanic and the central banks.
Mm-hmm.
How they took over the central banks.
Towers. I just shared a video.
Most of the wealthy bankers were on the people who were important to the banking system.
Well, yeah, this is the truth. The Titanic was. There's also, it's not the Titanic. It wasn't the Titanic.
It was the Olympia.
Oh, the Olympia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was the Titanic that was built first. The Titanic was the second sister ship. But anyway, see, I'm going to go off. There was they were having a vote in the U.S. for to create the world banks, central banks, and two of the richest people in the world were from Europe, and they were going to vote against it. So Chase or
JP
Morgan, he said, "Hey, come on my cruise ship, the Titanic, and we'll all go together and go to the U.S. to have the vote, and I'm going to talk you out of it." So they got on the cruise ship, and like 15 minutes before it took off, guess who got off? JP Morgan. He got off the boat. And then two of the richest people in the world somehow didn't make it to a lifeboat, didn't get out, never found. Also, the ship was ridiculously overinsured. But so the vote passed.
World Trade Center.
The central banks were created because those two guys didn't vote. So it looks like an elaborate thing. Also, when it comes to the death of Jesus, it was the central bankers of the time that had him killed, because he wanted to have a jubilee and to forgive all the debt, which they did back then. But the money exchangers, so basically the bankers, came together and they're like, no, we can't have that. We can't have this happen. So they were really instrumental in pushing for
the four presidents that were
interesting
assassinated were all four tried to put us on a silver standard.
Yeah, or mess with it. Yeah, and the whole thing about what's his name signed all that stuff on the plane like minutes after Kennedy was shot. So he had the paperwork
already
ready to sign. To me, that's like a huge thing that nobody talks about. It's like a footnote. Like that needs to be explained, why. And
who was with him? So who was really in charge in that moment?
And why at the worst time in history we should be like, this is a good time, let's sign those papers. You got them? Let's okay. Yeah, I want to get this done before we get off the plane because I got stuff to take care of.
Yep. Look here, not there.
It's incredible. I also posted another video for my patrons called Loose Change. And it's that same story of the Titanic, but it involves two upright structures. And it explains why when we were watching Giuliani sweat, when he had all that sweat running down him, after we thought he was a good guy, he was Trump's right-hand man, it's like they used him up. And then at the end, he came out and he just was pouring sweat. And it explains why in that movie. And I was like, oh. So that's
which is a similar story we've heard when 45 traveled around and he would go meet Angela Merkel or whomever, the heads of these countries, and he would go in and talk, and then all of a sudden they'd have three guys
come out
bring
and
in
they're
giant stacks of paper and say, well, here, look through it. We've got everything. Now you're going to work for us, or we're going to put you in jail right now. What are you doing? You know, confronted them with everything. And they did that to every single leader of every country that they went around and met with when he did that big tour over there.
Yeah.
I think it's weird how like stuff like the Titanic that people think it's like historical fact, like, you know, movies and things. It's all fiction. It was,
well,
you know
the
what I
TV
mean?
said it, man. The television said it. It's got to be real.
Yeah, it's odd. It's odd. Here, I want to tell you the thing that my niece posted. I found it.
It's intense.
It's at the creek. There was something in the water, and it says,
"Don't drink the water."
No, people
in the water.
People say it's too cold for snakes to be out, but this is definitely a water moccasin. Yeah, I was like, I'm proud of you, kid.
But
yeah,
good job.
It took me a minute.
She's her uncle's girl. Yeah, good one. Well, I'm gonna go order some pizza and snuggle with my little cannonball on the couch and watch a Christmas movie. I hope you guys have a great evening. And everybody, I'm not sure if we're having a show tomorrow with Johnny or not, but Christmas Eve, I will be having a great time with my kiddos. And I love all you guys. And I hope everybody stays happy and healthy. I can't wait for Christmas. I think we'll all know it's Christmas when they're playing It's a Wonderful Life continually. If you're not a Patreon member, check it out.
I'm gonna play. I have so many that I'm gonna play just over and over and over again.
All the Christmas movies.
Yeah, got them all. It's a Wonderful Life, White Christmas, Die Hard, all the classics.
Gotta love
Family
it.
Stone.
That's great.
Like
Die Hard became a Christmas classic. That's just awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I like all the dysfunctional family movies.
Mm-hmm. Yippee-ki-yay.
Go ahead. Christine Lagarde is a criminal. She's literally a felon who was convicted, but the judge literally said, I'm not going to sentence you to anything because you're guilty, so there's no way you'll be able to continue to do what you're doing and work. And she's now the head of all the money and everything for Europe. And Antarctica is weird, and people don't seem to think it's weird as hell, man. All these powerful and rich and government, they're all coming together and in Antarctica, and it's so obvious that it's
Public and I talked about when the red stuff was coming out of the ice a while back.
They got the red stuff coming out of the ice. They got islands named. It starts with the Delta, and then there's another
Omicron, all that. But you can show people pictures of what's the California? You know, the weird place where they all dress up and do rituals and everything.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called?
The Grove.
Bohemian Grove. You could these are senators doing this, and people are like, well, that's.
No, I heard a video from there one time.
Yeah, that's
what's
weird.
His name snuck in and got a video. He's like hiding in the bushes.
Yeah, all that is so obvious, and people admit it. Who was it? Nixon went there, and he said he didn't like all the faggot stuff, but he had the other.
Well, there was just recently a big earthquake there. 6 point something in a town called Petroleum. What was the other thing on it? Didn't I send that to you, Public? The town.
I didn't. That to me is like the weirdest damn thing in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, they're simulating like Satanist, rituals and worshiping the Gozer or whatever.
It's not a simulation.
Dozer.
Well, even so, why? Okay, it's a simulation. Fine. Why? You're the governor of Arizona.
Them, then.
You're the governor of Arizona. Why? Why would you
blackmail them?
Then they get them in there. They get them to do the ceremonies. They film it, and then they have something on them.
Yeah. You get in the club, and then you.
But why let us know about it now? That's the weird thing.
It's like the thing that
you know?
I think maybe the normalization. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's so
Sure.
many things I don't understand until it's too late. You're like, why? That doesn't make any sense for them to do that. And then 5-10 years later, it's like, oh, okay.
Well, they're trying to. I think the good guys are letting us know about it because the people have got to wake up slowly because it would traumatize everyone to wake up all at once. So there's got to be some of us that have known about it to like ease people into it. I mean, I had an experience where I tried to wake somebody up a little too quickly and it didn't go real well.
It happens. It happens.
she was like,
you gotta slowly feed it.
Yeah, you've been doing this for a few years. You're trying to dump all this on me in one weekend. Like,
Yeah, it annoys me when people wake up though. People are like, hey, do you know this? I'm like,
yeah, dude, like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that for years, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know. I was like, yeah, you didn't know because you just didn't listen.
Because you didn't. Because
Good for you. Now you know what I knew years ago. You know.
Yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to walk you through it. But I got to go order some pizza. I love you guys.
Love you.
Oh, no, hold on. Hold on. I want to give something away.
Oh, you want to give something away? Yes.
Yeah.
We have to give stuff away.
I'm going to give away.
What are you going to give away?
Thank you, Sean, by the way. I got one.
Awesome.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and we gave away stuff at the meetup. I gave away coins at the meetup. We asked questions and told everybody they're from you. Gave you shout outs.
Thank you very much. I want to give away some passive income. So I'm going to give away some love tokens.
Love token.
Which you can go in because I love you all. You can go to Honey Finance. They have a Honey Finance DAO and stake them, and they're paying like I think like 1,500% interest or something like that. So it's like a solid. Wow. I'll give away
love for sale.
I'll give away 10 love tokens. They're down right now. They're usually about $30, but still, just take them, stake them, and then within a few weeks you'll have some high hustle.
That's also like
side hustle. Why did I mix that up? Side hustle money coming in. I'll ask a question. First person who gets it right wins 10 love tokens. I just need your B&B address for it. Where was Saint Nicholas Santa Claus born? Country.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
156. Yeah, that's funny, man. Germany, no. Dutch, no. Finland, no. Wow. It's very
Where was Santa Claus born? Let's see.
St. Nicholas, yeah. Where was he born? I don't know. Norway. Nope.
I'm going to Google it just so I can see, but I'm not going to say it.
It's very weird.
That's a good question.
Netherlands, no. Netherlands and Dutch are the same thing, Phil.
I did not know that. Huh.
Yeah, it's odd, isn't it?
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's like counterintuitive.
It doesn't make sense.
The North Pole.
Like they can't be nice down there.
Certainly, definitely not.
Yeah, it's not what you thought.
Not that. Yeah.
Scandinavia.
No.
That's a region.
We are
not a
looking
country,
where
okay.
Saint Nick was born.
Siberia.
10.
Y'all are all really far off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 10 love tokens.
Australia. That would be cool.
Sean.
If it was Australia. Austria, no.
You'd be like, oh, crikey, kids.
Yeah.
They have some weird.
You're going Bonza there, man. Bonza, mate.
Go, Johnny, there's your boomerang.
They have some weird Santa traditions in Australia.
South Africa. There you go. Now that's thinking outside the box. It's wrong, but it's outside the box.
Brazil, wrong. Good job.
Ankle width.
Well, hey, there's no difference between Brazil from when you find out where it really is. It's going to be like, I didn't know that.
Egypt is getting closer.
Mm-hmm. 30 love tokens, somewhere under $30. 10 love tokens,
10
somewhere
love
under.
tokens,
Yep.
yes.
somewhat under $30 each.
I think they're like 15 today or something like that.
Okay, so you're
Yugoslavia.
giving away $150, guys, where you can
Cape
stake it and
Verde.
make 1,500%.
Are you paying attention, Sean?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yep,
I'm actually looking on the chat on
All right.
so because sometimes it's off when we read it.
Russia, Ethiopia,
Russia,
Jordan,
Ethiopia.
getting closer. Warmer.
Jordan is
Jordan's
good.
warmer,
Ethiopia getting
warmer.
close. Israel,
Warmer.
England.
Cooler. Angola.
I think if Santa was from Israel, he may not have been accepted worldwide as much.
Iraq. Nope.
Angola. You know, you guys could Google it. Someone could just Google it, like Jason did.
So technically, I can spit out the answer now.
Baghdad, Iran.
Love token.
tormenting me with my cold.
Portugal's very close. Portugal's very close. Morocco's
Chad.
ridiculously close.
It rhymes with
Poopy. Christmas goose. Well, it doesn't rhyme with Christmas.
It does
goose,
rhyme
but
with crikey.
Crikey.
Afghanistan.
Nope. Come on, guys. It's $150 he's giving away.
Come on.
Spain,
This is like
pretty close.
serious. There you go. See, Maz, you got it.
There you go.
Jive Turkey. That's funny. Yes, Turkey. St. Nicholas was born in Turkey. You have
Did not know
won
that.
10 love tokens.
Merry Christmas, CMAS.
Stake and earn crazy interest.
Very cool. I'm gonna quick Google love tokens tonight, learn all I can. So I'll tell him Satoshi Sean sent me.
Yeah, they're
I'll just scream it out because the internet doesn't care to me, whatever. But
Well, and your computer doesn't talk to you like Sean's does.
no, I and if it did, it would sound like Mr. T.
yeah, that would be cool. All right, you guys. Merry Christmas.
Very
Merry
cool.
Christmas.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sean.
Nicholas. It was Turkey. Thanks. And Chris, just give me your Binance address. I think I have it because you've won stuff before, so I can send it to you, and then you can stake it. All right. Love y'all.
I'd love to hear more
Merry
about that.
Christmas,
Love you.
guys.
Thank you, guys. Merry Christmas. Mwah.
Merry Christmas.